What's this? TheHill.com. Attorney General Barr puts former Intel bosses on notice. Who can it be texting at my door? Stand by. Anyways, Attorney General Barr puts former Intel bosses on notice. Things seem to be moving quickly now. It has been a remarkable few weeks in American history. Momentum is building toward uncovering the distasteful possibility. Let me just, that's his words. My words are absolute probability, 100% probability, not possibility, that the targeting of a U.S. presidential campaign was actually a political operation fostered at the highest levels of government, masquerading as an FBI counterintelligence investigation. Attorney General William Barr has signaled that his interest in examining the origins of the investigation into the Trump campaign extends beyond whether the FBI operated by the book, as former FBI Director James Comey asserts. Barr also wants to understand the role that the larger intelligence community, or IC, might have played in all of this. Barr has thrown punches that have left an interesting mix of characters with a standing 8 count. Certain eyes around DC are a little glassy right now. Barr's words and actions are telling. First, he raised the concern that the Trump campaign was spied upon. His use of the word spying appears more calculated than casual. The wailing and gnashing of teeth that followed is also telling. The FBI doesn't spy became the sputtering counter refrain of those trying to mask their nervousness. It's a fair point that's beside the point. The FBI is charged with acting under strict legal restrictions and court orders. Spying is not a term traditionally associated with those activities, but it also misses the point Barr appears to be making. The intelligence community does spy. That's what they do. Barr may have been referring less to the FBI and more to the intelligence community's possible murky involvement. This seems to be validated by Barr's second haymaker in as many weeks, his appointment of a surrogate investigator, U.S. Attorney John Durham. Why would the Attorney General add a third investigation to those underway by Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Hurwitz and U.S. Attorney John Huber? Because those investigations are focused on the FBI. Durham's assignment is not similarly constrained. His marching orders appear broader. Through Durham, Barr can start dusting for fingerprints, so to speak, across the government, not just the FBI. And the squirming has begun. In just the past week, we've seen a rush to comment by the former directors of national intelligence and the CIA. The FBI's former general counsel has chimed in and publicly, and of course, fired FBI Director Comey has been on a media offensive, practicing character assassination as a strategy, with Barr amongst those in his crosshairs. Each appears to be anxious about his own role in handling the controversial Steele dossier from the Trump-Russia investigation, and so there is something elbowing under the basket to get optimum positioning. And who can blame them? The Attorney General has stated that he is going to focus particularly on the dossier's exploitation and specifically on the actions of the leadership of those agencies. Interestingly, this establishes these leaders as principal witnesses in Durham's inquiry. In essence, they are using their easy access to public media platforms to coordinate and communicate their stories amongst themselves. Ordinarily, this type of witness activity is troubling, if not borderline obstructive, when done privately. In this case, Durham may be licking his chops as a prosecutor, since a certain element of finger-pointing among the principals has emerged. Each also is dealing with an elephant that's not just in the room, but sitting uncomfortably in their laps. Christopher Steele's dossier is clearly a Russian intelligence operation, active measure in intelligence speak, that took advantage of a cooperative outreach by the Hillary Clinton campaign. If these intelligence community leaders didn't recognize it as such, then it truly was amateur hour at the top. The more troubling scenario would be if each made a conscious decision to ignore the obvious Russian interference attempt and, instead, wring political value out of the dossier. This is a key area that deserves Durham's attention. After all, this Russian active measures operation was used to further an FBI counterintelligence investigation against American citizens and even secure a court order to electronically intercept former Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. The American people shouldn't feel badly if all this seems confusing. Even experienced counterintelligence investigators are scratching their heads. The former FBI General Counsel to Comey, James Baker, added to the confusion last week with some lawyer language that the FBI, quote, took the dossier seriously, but not necessarily literally. And he says, say what? You took the dossier seriously, but not necessarily literally. IG Horowitz likely will take note of that statement as he finalizes his review of possible abuses by Comey and his team on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act process. It seems doubtful that a FISA court judge would have granted an electronic surveillance order had he been told the FBI believed Page was acting as an agent of Russia. But not literally so, figuratively, but not literally. Barr also wants to understand the role of CIA confidential sources, or assets, that were cozied up next to Page and another former Trump campaign advisor, George Papadopoulos. Both were announced as Trump campaign members the same week in March 2016, and almost immediately began attracting attention from an interesting cast of characters associated with the agency long before the FBI counterintelligence investigation was launched that July. The CIA has its own set of restrictions about the use of assets against Americans, and this deserves Durham's focus as well. Former CIA Director John Brennan has commented on his belief in the sufficiency of FBI predication to investigate the Trump campaign, but has said little about the CIA's role in all of this. Durham will want to make sure that CIA asset activity didn't somehow create or help create that predication. Intelligence community leaders aren't used to being held into account by the Justice Department. They're not used to that. And their oversight by Congress generally is mild. Theirs is a comfortable world, obfuscated and kept mysterious by the liberal use of their classified information shield. Put the old national security stamp on it. We'll never show you any of our criminal activity. The demonization of Attorney General Barr has now begun, a sign that he is probably on the right track. And the intelligence community leaders are on notice. Who wrote this article? For the Hill, the guy I read the other day that I'm starting to like a lot. Here's his credentials. Kevin R. Brock, former Assistant Director of Intelligence for the FBI, was an FBI agent for 24 years and Principal Deputy Director of the National Counterterrorism Center. He is founder and principal of New Street Global Solutions, LLC. This is the kind of guy I want to listen to. FBI agent for 24 years, former Assistant Director of Intelligence. I mean, come on. This is the guy that knows what in the hell's going on. So when he starts writing articles like this, you should probably listen to what he's saying. The deep state is going down. As Aerosmith once said, loving an elevator, loving it up when it's going down. Some people going down. Some people are going down. And I'm still looking. Is there Q? I need an update. Q, please. I'm dying. I need an update. It's like looking at my portfolio. Been about 30 seconds since I last checked online. The market's down again. Nope. Last post. Boom Time Baker. Mother of all bombs. Coming right down on James Comey with a little description of shit. Ooh. Oh shit. And if you want to see it in big pictures, here you go. Boom Time Baker. Mother of all bombs. Shit. Oh, Comey. James Comey. Somebody I would not want to trade shoes with right now. No, sir. You, sir, are going to be big trouble. Now, the interesting thing is the comment of that picture from the Q post is Boom Time Baker. What is Boom time Baker mean? And it's not, the only word that's capitalized is the boom, which is typically correct English. B is capital, boom, time Baker. I thought, well, Baker, James Baker, FBI, huh? Is that a little hint thing with Baker? But it's not capitalized. It's not like standing out. And then the previous post of that was attempts by the Dems, Democrats, fake news, and those guilty of treason to shape the public narrative prior to by providing falsehoods will fail. Truth to light, no sleep in D.C. Q. No sleep till D.C. And again, he said, eyes on Representative Doug Collins. And Doug Collins just recently is the one saying, oh yeah, we're going to declassify this, we're going to declassify that. Oh, here's some new documentation. Check it out. Here's the full report. Q told us, 10 days ago. Watch this guy. And just very recently, he's been posting stuff, Twitter, etc. It's going to be a great day. It's going to be a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. And even to start that week, May 12th, he says, boom week ahead. Treason doesn't pay well in the end. That was Q's post from the 12th. And then the eyes on Representative Doug Collins. Then the whole thing about their attempts at the Dems, the fake news, those guilty of treason to shape the public narrative prior by providing falsehoods will fail. In other words, James Comey coming out, well, we fought everything by the book. CNN, ABS, CNN, Joy Maher, whatever, Bayer show, let's go over there. Where else can I go? Yeah, I'm going to, the Attorney General Barr, he's really poo-pooing the department. Trying to get ahead of the story. Yeah, the effing Attorney General that you guys were totally fine with. And Bob Mueller, you were totally fine with Bob Mueller. Oh, he's going to burn Trump and his kids are going down. Yeah, then the report came out. No collusion, no conspiracy. What? And what did they say recently? We want to subpoena Mueller to get your ass in here in the House. We want to have a word with you. We want to hear what you came up with that report. We want to hear from you. And now he's saying, I don't think I want to show up. Mueller was your guy. You were okay with Attorney General Barr at first. I guess you guys might have been told these guys are one of the club members. Don't worry about it. Now Mueller, very, very possible. Attorney General Barr, on the other hand, nope. He's a good guy. And even Mueller, I don't think I should show up. Well, we may have to make him show up. We may have to fully subpoena him and make him show up. Could you imagine if he shows up, you force him, he's like, guys, you dumbasses, I'm trying to tell you not to do this. Can you idiot Democrats, can you please get an effing clue? Because now you're going to force me to say things that are going to damage the living crap out of you guys. Go ahead with the questions, because guess what? The Republicans get to ask questions too. And when they ask me the questions that I have to answer, you guys are going to want to run out of here. Get on the next plane and leave the country. Because some of you guys are going to be in trouble. Yeah, maybe we should not make Mueller come in and talk to us after all. No. Go ahead, let him. Pull him in. You want the whole declassified dossier Mueller report? Go for it. Because I guarantee you, when you see the full thing, they're going to say, oh my God, we are in trouble. We've been begging for this. Trump has said, no, I'd rather keep it quiet. We've been begging for it. We're threatening the subpoena. We finally got it. Oh my God. We were idiots. No, we don't want it anymore. Go ahead and reclassify that. We don't need that anymore. Nah, Trump, I can see Trump now. No, you know what? You guys wanted it. Let me go ahead and declassify that with the rest of the stuff. You guys keep asking for it. I'm told by all your trolls on Twitter that I'm not, I'm going to hide it. Nah, you know what? Let's go ahead and just keep it open. And then it's damaging as hell to the Democrats. Yes, some Republicans for sure. Corruption is corruption. Left, right. Again, John McCain, for God's sakes. One of the worst fake Republicans you've ever saw in your life. Anyways, done talking. Take care.